What's going on, guys? So today I want to talk about level cap in Warframe. We're talking endurance runs, particularly disruption, because it doesn't take nearly as long and it's a lot more fun than survival. But it could technically apply to survival too if that's what you're interested in. I want to talk about why you should do it, or rather who should try out level cap if you haven't done it yet. Some of the pros of it, why I think it's really fun, and I think there's a lot of people that could enjoy it, but also the downsides of it and who it's not for, because it's definitely not for everyone. I just recently did my first level cap solo run on Disruption, and I'm like 70 days played. LR2, been playing the game for a long time, but there's a few reasons that I never did it before. And I think the main reason that most people don't do it is time. It just takes a long time to get to that level 10,000. It takes a long time just to get to level 1,000, honestly. Once you start getting into like 5,000, then it starts scaling up really quickly. But yeah, you're looking at about 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours just to start getting into the upper thousands. So I get that it is a big time sink. However, there's a few things that I learned about that make that much less of a big issue. The biggest one for me is doing solo mode. I always did friends invite only, and so I didn't know that in true solo mode, you can actually pause the game. It's kind of embarrassing how long it took me to finally realize that you can actually pause the game. But once I found that out, and then shortly after I realized that I could actually put my PlayStation to sleep while the game is paused. So that for me is a huge game changer, because I don't mind staying in a mission for 3-4 hours if I can take breaks, come back whenever I want. It's just staying in the mission for 4 hours straight with no pausing, no stepping away. That was way too much for me. So that's the time thing. Now that is something you can only really do on a PlayStation with the sleep or the rest feature. If you're on PC, you can still pause the game, obviously, but I'm not sure how the sleep works. If you're able to put your computer to sleep and then when you wake your computer up, you'll still be in game. I'm honestly not sure how that works, but I think it's definitely worth looking into if you're interested in trying to go on endurance. So that's the first downside. The other big downside to level cap is honestly the rewards. It's sort of level cap isn't really something you do for the rewards. It's not like Deep Archimedian. It's not like Archon hunts. I guess more so back in the day when they first came out and they were the only way to get Archon shards, because those sort of events have rewards built into them, actual items and stuff you get. With level cap, there's really nothing like that. You're really just doing level cap for the fun of it. The reward is, you might call it intrinsic. You're just doing it because it's fun to test out your weapons against super high level enemies, test out your builds, and in the case of disruption, seeing how fast you can get through it. So those are the big two things that I think stop people from it, is the amount of time it takes and the lack of rewards. Now, a note on the rewards. Technically, the level cap is decent for rewards if you just want lots of steel essence, because if you do a void mission, void fissure, you can drop the you can start doubling your resource. So with a resource booster, you're looking at 8 steel essence per drop. So that's pretty good, but definitely the rewards is a problem. Now, the other thing is, depending how far you are in the game, there's lots of other stuff you can do in the game that gives you good rewards. And if you only have so much time in a week, then I'd definitely say, in order to build your account up, I'd focus on other stuff like clearing the star chart, clearing the steel path chart, and building up your Archon shards and whatnot, and just kind of clearing out the game. So if you're at the earlier stages of the game and you just want to level cap, you definitely can. All you need is, a Revenant, unlock a few, unlock the dog's barking outside. Unlock the, a few of the operator trees, and that'll help. But I would suggest, waiting. And for me, it gets to the point, and I think a lot of players get to this point, in Warframe is you sort of get to the point where there's really nothing left to do, and the missions aren't particularly challenging, especially the missions without the modifiers, because it's almost like the only way DE is able to make missions difficult now is to put limitations on you, like in the Deep Archimedia. And I honestly, I have mixed feelings about it. It can be fun because it can put you can have those moments of, real challenge and get the blood pumping and stuff. But at the same time, I also just want to make, cool builds that I can think of using all my stuff, and that's something that level cap allows you to do. And so we got a misery here on screen. This guy is actually can be a pain in the butt. But honestly, what happened was I figured out that I can use Unairu, and you can use Unairu to actually armor strip his summons, which makes it a lot easier. Anyway, so yeah, those are some reasons, not to do it, and who it's for. I'd say level cap's definitely for that player who, you basically unlocked everything and you're just kind of going through the motions every week to, get your shards and get your, legendary melee arcanes. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. And doing endurance disruption has kind of put a breath of fresh air where I'm finally able to, utilize my builds. Because honestly, at the base steel path, or even, an hour into a steel path mission, there's really no challenge for killing stuff or surviving. You can pretty much, slap on a health tank or an armor tank build, or a basic, maybe a shield gate build. Shield gate build might be kind of tough, but any basic build and any, decent weapon, and you're just going to clear everything. So it kind of takes the fun away from making builds when everything's so easy. So what level cap and endurance gives you is it kind of gives you that feeling again you got when you first started playing the game, and you actually get stuff, get new weapons, get new skills, and it's like, whoa, these are actually really powerful and they're helping me to kill stuff. You actually get that feeling again, because with Warframe and the power creep, honestly everything just dies, and it's impossible for you to die unless you intentionally gimp your build and try playing with just rolling guard and no health. So that's my case for level cap. Really fun. I suggest it for people who just love playing the game and love weapons, and if the time's an issue for you. Now I would say the other thing is you have to have a lot of time, because me personally, I have a lot of time, so I have time to do my weekly missions, and then I still have additional time to play level cap. If I only had like 2 hours to play a week, then yeah, I probably wouldn't be doing many level caps, because I'd be using that 2 hours to do my Netra cells and stuff. But if you got extra time and you just want to have fun playing the game, and you already got everything unlocked, I'd definitely try it out if you haven't already. It's really fun. So just taking a look quick at my build, and then I'll end the video. Also, I want to say that I do want to do a little sort of a mini series guide type thing on the endurance runs. I was going to make it a few episodes. First, I was going to talk about acolytes and how to deal with them, which acolytes and acolyte abilities to look out for, particularly at higher levels. And then I was going to go onto the wiki and talk about enemy scaling, armor, how armor affects damage reduction, as well as how enemy scaling affects their health and shield, and how Eximus units scale differently. And then finally I was going to make a video on the builds, and I broke it down into how to build your survivability, what options you have for that, how to build your damage, and then speed. But I guess speed will be pretty short. You basically just need parkour velocity or a speed skill. Anyway, this is my thoughts on level cap endurance runs, why I think they're really fun, and I really hope DE makes another game mode. I know they already have Void Cascade, but Void Cascade for me, it's kind of hard to solo. I found it's really frantic. There's not a whole lot of downtime ever. It's like you're flying the whole time, and you got to move in and out of the operator so much, and it just, I don't really like it anymore. It used to be one of my favorite modes, but I hope Ascension or whatever they're coming out with next will be another fun game mode that you can take to level cap in a reasonable amount of time with, you know, fun little mini bosses and stuff. So this build I'm rocking right now, it's Loki, who's actually I really like. The fact his switch teleport makes you invulnerable for like 8 seconds, and that invulnerability does not care about nullifier bubbles. It does not care about demolisher nullification. Any nullification, you can just walk into it. You can walk into a violence silence bubble. You know, it's just during that 8 seconds, nothing can hurt you, which is really nice. Because even the god tier frames, quote unquote, like Revenant, even they have to worry about nullifier bubbles and stuff. But you know, Loki, he doesn't have to worry about that with his 3. The only problem is it is a very active playstyle where you're constantly spamming it. So it is much more active than like a Revenant. But skip ahead here. I'm not sure what I'm doing. But yeah, and then I had the Glaxion because I just got a magnetic progenitor, and I wanted to play around with that. Really like the Glaxion. And then the Vasto, the secondary I'm using. The Vasto, you probably, a lot of you probably already know this, but yeah, the Vasto is insane. It needs partial strip. I don't think it can kill with, you know, like with no corrosive or heat, but if you have some corrosive and heat stacks, it can kill level 10k, no problem. It doesn't need full strip. It barely even needs stacks, honestly. I think a lot of these demolisher kills, I don't even have my gun CO stacked up. So, anywho, those are my thoughts on the level cap and whatnot. So, I hope you found this interesting, and let me know if you need, you know, what you think about it. And like I said, I'm going to try and come out with a few little mini series on how to deal with this stuff as the levels progress into the thousands in this game.